Hi, on today's 30-minute mechanic, we're not working on the red car. We're not working on the dirt bike. We're working on the green bean. So buckle up, let's go. Okay, we are just going to take a little diversion here and work on this car for a little bit. We need to get our fuel lines tightened up and connected back up, and our intake piping and hat back all together, and the throttle cable back on and all that stuff. So that's kind of where we're at. Oh yeah, the radiator hose needs to be reconnected, and actually I need to put a plug in right there. So I may have to find a plug. I have to leave the alternator off and pull this cam position sensor, pull it out, and I'll fill the motor up with oil and pre-lube, and then pre-lube everything and put the cam position sensor back in, and then put the alternator on, because the alternator kind of covers that dude up. I'm not using a cam position sensor. I'm really just using it to drive the oil pump and to fill the hole. So anyways, if you want info on how to make one of those, I can hook you up with that. Make one for a 460. So anyways, let's get after it. Okay. Well, the first things I want to do is, well, I got to get my throttle cable and throttle cable mount. I can't remember. I've also got a ground cable back here I need to hook up somewhere. I forgot where that was grounded to. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I can't remember if I had another nut in a washer or if I just had them underneath those. This is a throttle cable mount I built. I actually made it for my other car, my 83, when I had this throttle body on it. Let's look at our bolt bucket here. Those are for the hood. And I quite literally do not remember. I think I used these on there. Man, I don't have that many bolts. I guess it really doesn't matter. If it's not right, I'll undo it. What do I do with everything? I think I had these guys on here. Oh, I'm starting to remember stuff. Yep. I mean, I have a million pictures of all this stuff. I could probably just go back and look. That goes to there. Yep. Grab a socket. This is probably a 1/2. A halfer. Yep. Half. Stop it. Half and a half. Snug down good. Those are good. This throttle body, it's a mass flow throttle body. Actually a dead bug laying on the butterfly. What the heck? It's a mass flow throttle body. Man, it is a nice part. It came in a kit that I bought to surely I've got a better cotter pin than that somewhere. It came in a 460 EFI kit that I bought. I just ran across it on Marketplace one day, and the guy was selling it, and ended up with a whole mass flow kit, and I've used various pieces from that kit. That thing's really long. Well, Bend that back. Hey, look at that. I got cutters right here. I can unlong it. Unlong that one. Unlong that one. Perfect. Okay, that part's done. The ultimate goal for this car is to have the cruise control connected up to. So that's something that's a bridge I haven't crossed yet. Now with the I had an LS style throttle body on here for a while. Of course, this car hadn't run yet, and the cruise control cable would actually hook onto it. I might actually go back to that setup. Maybe. I like this one because it'll clear the stock hood. I think I can put the stock hood on and it'll be all kind of low key and nobody will really know kind of what this thing, what's going on with this thing. All right, now I guess I need to connect a fuel line. Is that one loose too? Yep, that one's tight. This one's loose. And I really don't ever, hey, that's the right size. Grab a, I was just about to say, I really don't ever remember what size all these AN fittings are. Come on, go back that way. But where are we at? What is that? Can't even read it. What? 3/4? Didn't seem right, but I guess maybe it is. All right, that one's snug. We're going to jump back here and do the same to the back one, which you may not be able to see. Well, that mass flow kit I was talking about, this intake manifold and everything is part of that mass flow kit. It's a Edelbrock Torker 2 with EFI bungs added to it. And I think this particular manifold was done before Edelbrock offered a Torker with the bungs in it. Because you can buy this particular manifold from Edelbrock now that already has EFI bungs made into it, and these have been added and welded in, so it's all aftermarket from Mass Flow. Do they still go by Mass Flow? I'm not sure. Okay, now moving on. Move my bucket. All right. I need to put my water temperature. Got a mechanical gauge in there, and that water temperature sensor goes right here in the front. I think that's is that a 5/8? Goes right there in the front of the manifold. Let's see if we can find either 5/8 or an 11/16, but I don't think it's 11/16. I think I've messed with these things enough. I should know by now. And genius here, the one that needs a plug over here, I was going to do that when the intake was off. Put a plug in it, that way it's easy to get to. Well, dummy here, forgot, and I put the intake back on and didn't do that. So we're gonna have to find a plug for it. Actually, I may just go look for that. Right, where the heck does that go? Right now, not entirely certain. That's plugged. Okay. Checking this, make sure everything is plugged in. Oh, that's where did the other nut go? Ugh. I think I did. That is it. That's a TPS ground. I had to add a ground. Actually, not for this. I had the that LS style throttle body on here, and I couldn't get a TPS signal out of it until I added another ground from the ground circuit directly to the throttle body. And so I just leave it in here. And that hose goes right there. Okay. Oh crud. There is a yep, that fitting. Got to tighten up more fittings down there. I'm not sure how I'm going to get to it. All right, we got to move our, not move. We've got to connect our, this is our return line back to the tank. It's a stock return line. Here's the stock feed line. We're not using the factory feed line or the factory fuel pump. I've taken the factory fuel pump out and put a sump in the gas tank, and I'm using an external pump. So the basket and everything's back in there, so the fuel gauge will work, but there's no pump in there. So this is essentially a vent right now. I'm gonna have to figure out some way to maybe cap that so I'm not getting fuel. I don't know if it hurt anything, but I don't really want it in my engine bay. This one has to go right back hither. I don't know. I don't really like that so much, actually. And I really don't like it because I can't turn it at all. What's going on? It's running into my, and there's just not a good way to run out this stuff. It's running into my bolt right here on the bottom of the intake. And I feel like there's a better way to do this. And I'm actually going to take that off real quick. It sticks down too far. Again, I have no idea what size. Wrench. Guess Rooney, and I guessed the wrongy. That's 5/8, 11/16. Not it. Is it? 11/16 stubby. If I can get my fat hand back in there or not. Which way is loose in here? Is it doing what I want to do or not? Screw it in, screw it out. Gosh. You'd think by now I would not have to resort to that stuff, but you know, I do. I ran a feed line from the back. It's a -8. Oh my word. This is not really what I want to do here. And this is -6 to the factory line. The factory lines are really pretty small on these cars. I hope it'll be fine as far as being able to return enough fuel, so I keep fuel pressure under control. See how put that little guy in there, and it's really tight up under here. Makes me wish I had a different -6. Maybe I need to go look in my fitting bucket and see what I can come up with. Oh, hey, pause game. As I was looking through my bucket of fittings, I ran across a plug. So I can plug the hole in the manifold there. That's really the coolant bypass hose fitting for when you run a mechanical water pump. Oh my, I'm not wrapping this the right direction. Got my Teflon tape. Teflon tape's okay, as long as you don't go just too bananas with it. In this case, it's on the water, so it really doesn't matter. I can go as bananas as I want, really. That's the bypass. If you run a mechanical water pump, there's a little short hose that goes over the water pump and bypasses water when the thermostat's closed. Of course, we're running an electric water pump on this car, so it is not necessary. We run an electric water pump, and then we have a inside there we have a thermostat that's gutted. So the thermostat just is wide open. It's gutted, so it has a smaller hole, so it causes you to have pressure inside the block. You don't want it to just free flow. You want a little bit of back pressure. So the way it's explained to me was you need back pressure so that the water will, when it gets hot, it will go into all the crevices in the block and not, I don't know, it made sense when I read it. I'm not very good at explaining it. So maybe you could just Google it and learn it on your own. I kind of made this hole a little big on accident. So this dude screws way in. It's not getting super tight either. Not giving me warm fuzzies like it's getting tight. And I may have to do something else there, but for now, I'm going to leave that. It may, if it leaks, I'll take it back out and do something. I don't know what. Okay, that fuel pressure regulator back there, man, I am tempted to pull it off real quick and change the bottom fitting to something else. Let's go back to looking. Let me go back to looking at fittings again. Okay, once again, change plans. I think what I'm going to do, instead of changing the fitting on the bottom of the regulator, I'm going to rotate the reg just a little bit. I'm going to rotate it this way towards the front of the car just a little bit so that bottom deal is pointed back. And I'm sitting here looking around going, I'm missing a vacuum line, and there it is. That vacuum line is in place. So I think I'm going to rotate it just a little bit and make this fitting easier to get on the bottom, but I need to lube this fitting up because it's kind of snug. So that right there for a moment. Uno momento. How do we want to do this? Can I do it by hand? Nope. This is going to take something larger. Giant channel locks. These are channel locks. Have always been finger pinching dudes. But they work good sometimes. Oh, gosh. That was not nearly as tight as I would have hoped it would be. Oh, that's not good. Over there. All right. We're back. Problem is, I can't turn the end of that with my fingers. I want to get this car ready. Of course, I've told you this in this video series. I want to take this car on Mega Week. Uh-oh, I almost dropped my wrench. Mega Week, which is Rocky Mountain Race Week's the kind of dual event they're doing next year for their 10-year anniversary. In that, I'm failing miserably at this right now. Mega Week. It's going to start in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Same place Race Week did this year. Start in Tulsa. Go to gosh, what's that new track called? New track in Kansas, and I can't think of it. Anyways, it's going there, and then it's going to I think Noble, Oklahoma, which I've been to many, many, many times, and then to Ennis. I am just floundering here. This deal. To Ennis, and then back to Tulsa. So I've been to Ennis, and I've been to all those tracks except the new one in Kansas. And I wish I could remember what the name of it is. I keep wanting to say Firebird, but that's not right. Well, maybe I can get this thing screwed on here and tight. I mean, maybe I was trying to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed here. I just didn't like that. I didn't like that line being right over the top of those bolts and being in the way of kind of getting the valve cover off. I kind of want that away because I like for things to be where you can maintain them. And running fuel lines over the top of valve covers is not conducive to that. One of these days, this thing is going to get tight. And I don't know what day that's going to be. It doesn't seem like it's going to be November 6th. Problem is I can turn it about one flat at a time. Then I got to flip the wrench, turn it another. Oh no, go back here. And of course I have not had fuel in any of this yet to know if anything leaks, because I haven't never started this car. Actually, I've never started this car at all. It has never run since I've owned it. Hopefully that will change in the near-ish future. You know, you're thinking, hey, James, what kind of power are you expecting to make out of this thing? There are more bugs in my throttle body. What is going on? This is a basic 460. I plan on running about 8 to 10 pounds of boost. I mean, I'm guessing mid 500s, maybe to 600, depending on stuff. It's got 80-pound injectors in it, so I got plenty of injector to go that far, I believe. It's got a 380 liter per hour fuel pump in it, so that may be a sticking point. I'm not sure. But really though, this, you know, like I said before, this car doesn't have a roll cage in it. Yep, that's tight. Yep. Doesn't have a roll cage, so it is limited to 1150. Okay, that means this guy. Is there a better way to route this? Might be. Might just be. Like under there. It's limited to 850. Not 850. Gosh. It's limited to 1150. So 1150 and a quarter miles as quick as this car can run as is legally. I feel like we're going to be able to run. I feel like that needs to go right through there. I feel like it's going to be able to run quicker than that. But we're not going to go nuts with it just yet. I would like to do a full 850 cage in it, I think. There's some pretty nice kits out there for 850 stuff that are pre-notched and everything. I think I could probably install it myself. My other car has my 83. It just has, it's legal to 10.0. Has 6-point roll bar in it. It's a Maximum Motorsports kit that it's, you know, if you just want to go 10.0, that Maximum Motorsports kit is pretty nice. It bolts in good. I need another wrench. Bolts in nicely. It's a bolt-in deal. Bolts in nice, and you know, then you're legal. The one thing I wish they would redesign on it. It's a great deal, but if I was gonna make one suggestion, it'd be change the door bars. They work. Okay, that's all tight. They work, and you know, with the swing out, well, even the one that doesn't have swing outs, they kind of protrude out and pin you in, because instead of coming off the B pillar bar and angling straight down, they come out, whoop, and then angle down instead of just angling straight down. Okay. That part, where in the devil? Oh yeah, that goes to my. I was like, I've got an extra hose. Where does it go? Well, I know where it goes. Okay. Here's our next. Man, did I actually cut that? Oh my gosh. I think this piece goes right there. And look, I cut the hose like a dummy. Guess I couldn't get it off. And my hat. So I think I've got everything kind of taken care of. I'm missing a clamp. Where's my clamp? Oh my gosh. No clamp. I don't know where it is. Where's my bolt bucket? I do know where my bolt bucket is. One goes on the top. I'm gonna have to find me a clamp. And I have to cut that off and hook that hose back up. I guess I couldn't get it off when I was taking everything apart. And like, took a shortcut with it. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Oh, that one's loose too. There we go. Wait a minute. Why do I have two there? That's dumb. That's the one that goes up there. Good gravy. Yeah. I tightened that up and I was like, man, that's a lot of clamps there. What is going on here? Well, tell you what's going on. You're putting stuff where it doesn't need to go. That one goes right there. I think you can't really see what I'm doing here, can you? Oops, it won't work. I need a clamp there to hold this. Now I need one here. And I had two here. Oops, wrong way. There, that one's on there. Now, this one goes right here. And all the people say, hey James, where's your intercooler? Not running one. Don't intend to run. Don't intend to run that much boost to really make an intercooler completely necessary. Tilt those kind of downish. That's no good. That's all crooked. There we go. Back. Not going to run that much boost. I mean, since we're running like 8 pounds, 8 to 10 pounds, 10's probably on the outer edge of what I'm comfortable with. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Pretty comfortable with running without an intercooler. Although we did run quite a bit more than that in our other car. We hit, 14 pounds of boost in it with no intercooler in it. It was pretty, it seemed to be pretty happy. I don't want to do that in this one. It's higher static compression ratio and just bigger and dumber, and I don't want to hurt it because you can hurt them pretty quick. Now, this is of course, I have two big block Mustangs. I have this one, and then my red one, my 83. And we got, this one's the complicated one, and the 83 is the simple one. 83 has, there it is. Carbureted big block, just a regular distributor in it. And this one has all the electronic stuff in it. Come on. EFI, distributorless ignition, you know, all that stuff. Turbo. This guy, I don't want to run that. I'm gonna go around. I don't like how that's. Cut that off a little. Cut it off where it looks like I actually know what I'm doing and not didn't gnaw it off like a rabid raccoon. Perfect. Should I go this way with it? Just plug it in. Or what? Yep, that's probably fine. Got the blow-off valve. Gotta have a blow-off valve. Some guys, I don't want a blow-off valve. It might leak boost. Well, you're gonna leak a lot of boost when you blow the tube off. So gotta have the blow-off valve. This is the one I ran on my yellow F100 with the turbo. With this turbo, in fact. Okay. Everything is oh, one last thing. One last thing before I go. And that is put the radiator hose on. And to do that, I need another socket. Yeah, let's put that in there first. This radiator hose is from a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, I went to a dual pass radiator. That is in the way. Went to a dual pass radiator. So that put my radiator hose, my inlet on the other side, down there, opposite of what a Ford normally, big block Ford normally is. Normally they come out and go right over here. So this one's on the opposite side now, because dual passes have your inlet and outlet on the same side. So I ended up having to come up with a radiator hose that would go all the way back there. And I owned a Jeep Grand Cherokee. And I remembered that it did a similar thing. It snaked all the way around to the other side. So I bought one, and it was just a little too long, so I had to, you know, if you can, I just put a little splice in there to make it shorter and cut it off a little bit on the other end because it curls a little tighter. But otherwise, I mean, that works pretty good. Goes around, plugs in. All right, here we go. About the only thing left to put on is the alternator. I'm going to fill the motor full of oil and the break-in stuff, the Lucas. I don't know if I got that sitting here where I can show you that stuff. We'll get to it. Lucas oil additive. It's good. It's good stuff. Got the boost tubes. Boost tubes. I always say boost tubes. Got charge pipes back on. Everything's bolted back on. I think the only thing I lack hooking up is this one ground right back here. And for the life of me, it goes right there. That's what that bolt is. Where is it? This one. I can do that right now. I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to tighten it up because I got a friend owned a transmission shop, and his rule was if there's a bolt, if you put the bolt in the hole, it gets tightened. None of this. Just put the bolt in and hope it, and then come back later and tighten it. Because that's how you forget stuff. I need an extension because that's down in the hole. So you put the bolt in, you tighten it up. That way you don't forget to tighten it up. I don't always adhere to that rule. Probably should. What is going on here? My bolt is not tight. Oh, brother. Just trying to do something really quick and it turns into not quick. It's fixing to be done. I don't know why this has to be so hard. Custom stuff. It's just how it works. There we go. Now we're getting there. We are cooking with gas. Now I think this other stuff, that's the only one that needs to be plugged in. My transmission dipstick is buried in there, which is kind of a problem, but you can kind of see it hiding right there, right behind everything. But hopefully don't need to mess with it too much. Fill it up, maybe fill it up and forget it. One little quick look at the green bean 460 HD60 turbo. Just Summit wheels that kind of look like a weld wheel, kind of a knockoff. Interior is a disaster at the moment because I've been putting in shifter and wiring and everything. Interior will be basically stock, the exception of a B&M shifter sticking out and a little thing right there. I'm gonna make a cup holder that fits on that little stud that I made a block off plate there, and I'm gonna make a cup holder to bolt on there. So that pokes out where the stock 5-speed shifter will. There's books and everything everywhere in here. Go to the back, a 275/60 tire on the back. Same Summit wheels, long studs. I got relocated battery in the trunk, and I hate relocated batteries. I've said this before, but I hate putting batteries in the trunk. They're always a problem. It seems like trying to keep them charged and trying to provide enough juice to crank the motor over. But in this case, with an engine bay that looks like this, didn't have much choice. Okay. All right. That's going to do it for 30-minute mechanic today. We worked on our green car a little bit. I got to stay on this and keep at it so I can knock this one out and get it running. So I can take it on Mega Week in the end of May, beginning of June of next year. So it needs to run, and I'm really looking forward to the first startup on it. So anyways, like, subscribe, tell your friends, ring the bell, and we'll see you next time. Bye.